Greetings, everyone. RetroIndieGamer here with a new series called Retro Wednesday, where I play a retro game. Today, we will be playing Frogger for the Atari 2600. Now, I'm playing it on my Atari with my Genesis controller because the Genesis controller works a little better than the actual joystick. And here we have Frogger for the Atari 2600. I'll start at the basic difficulty. Now Frogger's trying to walk across the road and avoid getting hit by cars. The classic gameplay on the Atari. Oh shit, I didn't even do that. Oh, I just got run over again. Yeah, brought to you by Parker Brothers. What the hell? How did I get... I must have misjudged. Okay, come on, get over there. The wonders of Atari graphics, especially for arcade games. But this is definitely one of the better Atari arcade ports. And probably one of the best games in the Atari period. And yeah, this will definitely be on my list of best Atari games. I know I said a couple years ago I'd do that series. I think now I'll actually agree on to actually making that video. I have several other more good Atari games to show, though. But yeah, the graphics may not have been up to the standards of the arcade version, but the gameplay is definitely there. The gameplay is absolutely there. Fog around, trying to avoid getting run over by cars, with hot rodding and turtles, logs, and alligators. I'd want to and avoid, and I'd preferably like to avoid falling into the river. That'd be a quick end to your journey. Frogger made it. Now another frog has to go across. Okay. Okay, I do not want to go there. I do not want to meet any alligators. That'd end my journey real fast. I had to wonder. This must be one of the most bizarre roads in the world. You look at it, all the cars are going opposite directions, alternating by row. Yeah, look at the way these cars are going. One set's going to the left, and then next are going right, next one going left, etc. That must be really difficult when it comes to merging. Well, I guess if you're a frog, you don't care. You don't care what direction the cars are going. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, this is definitely one of those fun arcade games I can play for hours. Not that I'm actually going to, but it's possible. Okay, so I'm just trying to avoid getting run over, getting the white frog, which I assume are lady frogs or something, and make it through. Oh, really? You had to hit the side. Okay. He's progress made it home and he captured a fly. So he made it home and he got dinner. I'll say today it went well. Outside of running into the wall. Come on, go back around. Yeah, I like this particular difficulty setting on the Atari Atari Frogger because it wraps around the screen, unlike say in the arcade one where you just run to the wall, which definitely puts a quick end to your journey. Okay, note this up: do not walk into cars. Do not walk into cars. Do not walk into cars. Well, oh, come on, really? Sure, now they disappear. me try another game mode. I'll try the one-player mode. Nothing beats the Atari. Now the cars are going super fast. And what are these things even supposed to be anyway? I mean, it's been a while since I looked at the arcade version for comparison. Or hell, even the Sega Genesis version. Which is probably the closest to the arcade version. Let's see. I'm trying to. This is going line of traffic. Yeah, he's like a bicycle. He goes with the traffic. Going against traffic. That's a bad idea. A really bad idea. And Frogger's like, I'm not gonna. He's like, screw that shit. Go with traffic. Go with traffic. Go with traffic. Oh, and run to a car. Go with traffic. Go with traffic. Oh, hey. Oh, come on. Let's go. Jump across the river. Make it home. Go with traffic. Up. Go with traffic. Up, up, up. And just keep walking across. He's trying to make it. Oh, what? Really? Come on, I thought I timed that perfectly. I guess not. But it's interesting for Frogger, and I've mentioned this a couple. What the hell? What the hell is that? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I mentioned this a couple videos before, but Frogger is one of the two games where there are two versions of it for the Atari 2600. Released by two different companies. Parker Brothers and with the I can't remember the name of the company, but it was a company that made the Supercharger, which is basically a cassette, basically an add-on for the Atari 2600 that could use cassette games. I can't remember the name of the company that made it off the top of my head right now. Oh, come on! I ran right into the alligator. Yeah, part of it because it's hard to see that part of my screen because there's a glare coming from my window, and this is an old-style TV. Though, to be fair, the Atari can work literally on any television. Because every television made in the past several decades has a coaxial connection, last time I checked. And coaxial is awesome. Sort of. Picture quality-wise, it isn't. Well, at least I have an old VCR to connect it to. Okay, I need to be careful. Go traffic, go traffic. But yeah, the Supercharger version of Frogger. Okay, he seems to be missing a lot. Okay, I'll try difficulty 5. I know that's probably a stupid idea. But yeah, Oh, this is one where you had to be extra careful with your steps. Because there's a mode where you have to be really careful with your steps. Because if you keep holding down the button, you'll just keep. Yeah, that will happen if you just hold down the button. Which means you have to time every move carefully. Oh, what the hell? And I probably shouldn't have chosen that mode. Gotcha! But yeah, the Supercharger version of Frogger, called the official Frogger for some reason. Okay, I might want to go back to the lower difficulty settings. Yeah, I'm just using the setting where where it wraps around. Which I believe is difficulty setting A on the Atari. I think When I Die Here, which will probably be soon, I'll try difficulty setting B. But yeah, the supercharger version of Frogger. Yeah, graphics-wise, it's pretty close to the arcade version. Though, unfortunately, given that the supercharger is pretty hard to come by. Hold on, let me see. Huh. That is on difficulty setting B. Let's see. Is the wraparound or squish? Yep, squish. So yeah, one. Yeah, was it? I think it's set on B right now, or the A. Yeah, squish. Yeah, a little closer to the arcade version. Now, this version definitely has the gameplay of the arcade version down. Graphics-wise, well, this is Atari we're talking about. You know, the supercharger could use cassettes is well, a bit closer to the arcade version in terms of graphics, which for Atari is quite a feat. Because the Atari was never known for graphics, was it? Oh, for goodness sake. But yeah, we'll go back to difficulty mode A. Or B, whatever the hell I said it to. It doesn't make Frogger any less fun. Brought to you by Konami in their before shooting themselves in the foot day. And their before selling out days. Should I go on to how Konami's lost their minds? But they didn't in the days when they were making this thing. So in this case, the ones who needed to rethink what they were doing was Sega in this case, who had the rights to distribute Frogger in North America. And gave the rights for two different companies for two different forms of different mediums. Parker Brothers for cartridge-based games and for the cartridge-based consoles, and Sierra for the companies that make yeah, Sierra for the companies that made them on. Okay, I switched to the other difficulty. Having wrap around was more fun. But yeah, Sierra had for basically the system to use cassettes, and Parker Brothers for the ones that make cartridges, which led to some funny incidents when there were a couple cartridges that accepted both. The Atari has that add-on, but then there are others that already had it, such as the Atari 8-bit computers and the Commodore 64. Sega did not think that through, did they? Granted, there's also the same company that years later pretty much destroyed all their mascots except for Sonic. Then they pretty much ruined him. Oh, what the hell? Why did I move then? Yes, he got lucky. Barely. But yes. Yeah, seeing what Sega's done to Sonic lately. But a Sonic Mania game coming out next year sounds pretty good. And I might at one point try the second Sonic Boom game, which I'm told was better than the first one, in the first set. Yeah, I found Sega's mentality really weird, because, especially with Sonic. Okay, why am I talking about Sonic? We're talking about Frogger. Oh yeah, because Sega was involved in distributing these in North America. But anyway, I found the thing of Sega and Sonic pretty strange. With their more recent entries, that it seems that every other entry, Sega kept updating the series and constantly changing it. Whee! even after a game was well received, like Generations, Colors, Lost World, and every one they've seen to completely starting from the ground up afterwards, which can definitely lead to gameplay issues if they're trying to recreate it every single time. Yeah, this is a lot of fun with the Genesis controller. Anyway, but yeah, then what do I do with Sonic Boom, a game that was pretty much universally panned? Then make another one! Sega, what the hell? And I see a few minutes of the cartoon, which was decent. Though to be fair, Sega usually has good luck with cartoons. Sonic has probably had the best luck when it comes to its cartoons. I mean, it did well with all three of the shows they had back in the 90s, as well as that Sonic X one they had in the mid-2000s. And until the Boom one, which granted I have seen called minutes on, it also looks decent. Now, if it was on, say, 5, 7, 10 years ago, I would have watched it. Oh, really? Now I disappear. It's like that Dragon Ball Super show. It's one of those which I'm sure it looks kind of good, but it's also one of those things where, like, it's too late for me to want to see another Dragon Ball show now. Now, if it was on, say, back in high school when I was into it, yeah, I would have been all over it. But now it's like it's way too late. Now, sure, for people all over the world, it's about 20. Now, sure, for people who grew up with it, and now, sure, for people who grew up with it, it's like 20 years too late. I mean, Dragon Ball Z ended the show and the manga ended in 1995, and GT ended in 97. A show I actually like, except for that final arc. That final arc was stupid. Now, speaking of anime, I think some of Frogger's music actually comes from a couple of really old anime series. I forget what the names of the series were off the top of my head, but I did look up when I found a list of the songs, and I looked up the songs myself, and one of them I could sort of see the influence on another I could definitely see the influence on the music in Frogger. It would have had been something that was around in the 70s or 80s. I forgot what the two shows were called off the top of my head. But yeah, and seeing all the sequels that Frogger's had over the years. Granted, I haven't actually had a chance to find any of them yet, but I will try one. I will try one eventually, because old Konami games were good. Some more recent outings, let's not discuss them. Which was probably something I'll discover once I start playing through all the Castlevania games again. Yeah, because like I said in many videos, I have access to all those games except for Bloodlines. So we have Halloween less a week. I should probably play one of those. Especially since I'm on the topic of Konami. Victory! Now, yeah, Sonic, yeah, yep. Now, Castlevania games are for the most part good, except for the first batch of 3D games. The ones on Nintendo 64. Well, I have them though the only reason I have them is to complete the set. Or almost complete the set. I need a Genesis to fully complete it, not counting remakes of the games. Come on, come on. Made it! Yeah, I've seen some from the last releases in that series, such as the Lord of the Shadows games, which are, from what I played of them, are decent, but... And they do sort of feel like the PlayStation 2 Castlevanias, which were actually pretty good, which I actually thought were pretty good. Okay, everyone's not going to take an attempt at that. Not going into the house while an alligator's present. Yeah, the Lord of the Shadows Castlevania games are good, and they sort of resemble the PS2 ones, which are pretty good. But other than that, the gameplay just feels really weird, especially that one that was set in the modern day, the second one, I believe, which took a few pages from the Dracula novel by having Dracula start out as an old man, which sticks to the book. And considering that the Dracula book is that Castlevania has made the book part of its universe, or at least similar events. Oh crap! But yeah, of course, it sort of seemed to research. Okay, I'm not doing too good here, am I? Screw it, Fogger's fun. Yeah, same thing with Castlevania, Lord of Shadows games. They did one thing which felt like they were sort of returning a favor to Universal, with it naming a character Gabriel Belmont, possibly coming, especially looking at his appearance, from Gabriel Van Helsing in the movie Van Helsing. Not the greatest movie in the world, but damn, it's fun to watch, especially since it takes clear inspiration from Castlevania. To the point when the people who made the console version of the game put a reference to Castlevania, and I mentioned having a book about the Belmonts in the library in there. But yeah, the inspiration of Castlevania Van Helsing it goes without saying, especially since they have things like the Demon Dracula years before. Yeah, Lord of Shadows pretty much probably Konami returning the favor before they lost their minds. Oh, and doing their best to try and get the hell out of the game industry. And all I have to say is this about them: if they want out so badly, go ahead. We'll miss your games, but we won't miss your conduct. Not at all. Huh. Yeah, we definitely won't miss your conduct. Especially not over the last couple of years. Initially, Konami is so far the only company that's claimed any of my stuff. Or attempted to. Because for some reason, a couple years back when I made my video on Super Castlevania 4, a game from the 90s, and again, it's also a remake of the original Castlevania. For some reason, they claimed my video of the thing, but which I was able to dispute the thing, and it was gone, which makes it seem as like it was one of the automatic things. I guess compared to other YouTubers, they're pretty lucky in that regard. Only one million in all time have done this. So there are definitely some areas where I'm not even going to attempt to test it, like anything with Nintendo, until they change their ways, which I hope they do. Yeah, interesting history of, say, Frogger on Nintendo consoles. Yeah. For instance, the Atari 2600. Yeah, for instance, the Super Nintendo version is probably the worst version of Frogger I played. Well, neither of the two 16-bit versions are anything special. Except for the Genesis version basically being, no, not basically, literally being the arcade game on a Genesis. Because in the way I understand it, the guy basically looked at the guy who made the Genesis version pretty much looked at the code for the original arcade version and pretty much modified that for a Genesis. Whereas the Super Nintendo version of Frogger just flat sucked. For one, the gameplay, the controls are really bad. The graphics look really strange. They don't work with the game at all. And I don't recall there being any music. Granted, this one doesn't have any either. But yeah, gameplay is always going to be the most important thing. Funny how the game industry seems to be forgetting that. Like the whole thing with the PS4 Pro, trying to push the graphics over the gameplay. Which I've noticed, which I've noticed a lot of other companies doing too. Most notably ones who have forgotten how to make good games. Ubisoft. Especially since some of these companies don't even know how to make games with a decent frame rate. Okay, I want to. Oh, run to the river, trying to avoid a snake. Yeah, you're going one way, run to a car. We're going across, run to a snake. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, thing of games like like the thing of frame rate, especially with say Ubisoft, they're always capping with them capping a lot of games at 30, and 30 is acceptable for some games, not all. Though 60 is always going to be better. For one, it's more fluid. And it's definitely best for a first-person shooter, for instance. Well, super over frame rates, it seems some people seem to misremember certain things about them. Like, I see people mentioning that the GameCube version of Tales of Symphonia ran at 60, which I don't even know if the GameCube ran at 60. Well, considering the version for the PS2 at the same time, and it was likely more powerful consoles at 30. Anyway, back to Frogger. Yeah, one of the best games ever made. And with ports through the roof. I mean, seriously, I probably can't even begin to count how many ports of this thing there are. Across various consoles. I mean, name a console, there's likely a version of this you can play on there. For example, I believe it's on the Xbox Live Arcade along with the majority of Konami's stuff. Or at least the arcade stuff. Like Contra. I made it across. But yeah, Frogger is one of those games that's available just on every platform imaginable. Any platform, there's likely a version of this game on there. Or if you only have older systems like, say, the Commodore, Atari, either Atari 2600 or the 8-bit computers, or like I said, the Commodore 64. You have two versions to try. Even in terms of gameplay, they're pretty much the same. Because there's only so many ways you can do this. Another interesting thing for the game that I'll probably be playing, that I might be playing next week on Retro Wednesday, is one that was very similar to Frogger, a little too similar, but were actually games that happened, but it was most entirely coincidental because the two games were in development and released around the same time. Okay, he's walking. Okay, Frogger is walking along. Popping on turtles And oh, come on! I had that. At least I thought I did. Walking on avoiding cars. He's going to line of traffic, going with the traffic flow. He's going with traffic and then going across the river. Oh, come on! One more time. And after this last one, I'm going to call it quits for a stream. Yeah, these types of games I can only play for so long. Yeah, imagine how long it would last if I was using an Atari joystick. Okay, probably just a amount of time. But it was also a pretty difficult joystick to use sometimes. I mean, for the best gameplay experience, if you have an Atari, use a Genesis controller. It works with it because they use the exact same connection. And because the Atari only uses one button, you can only use the D-pad and the B button on here. I don't know, Frogger's bounced river. He's bounced the river. This game's just too much fun. He made it! Go Frogger! And avoid those alligators, because don't think Frogger wants to become anyone's lunch. That'd be a quick end to his journey. Ouch. Okay, try to make it across, Frogger, make it across. He's doing good. Victory! And Frogger's trying to run. Trying to run. Yes, he's made it. Victory is his. Yeah, victory belongs to Frogger. As he tries to avoid getting run over. Okay, that's the end of this. So yeah, that was Frogger for the Atari 2600. Great classic game, and if you haven't played this, please do. It's available just on every console imaginable. But it's fun playing on the Atari with the Genesis controller. So if you have access to both of those, go ahead and play on there. Well, until next time, everyone.